This is Rene Enriquez. Nickname Bootser. Blackhand of the Mexican Mafia. Prison gang politics.
Hey folks, my name is Rene Enriquez. Welcome to Uncensored, and we're back with yet another episode of the Pelon Maciel induction. Now they're talking about in-house business and the taxation program. If you remember correctly, Shai and Perico were opposed to taxing neighborhoods. Perico Ochoa voiced his opposition to individuals controlling territories and that it belonged to them. And again, my position was that it belongs to the brother who develops it. Here we go. We're going to start the video now.
Okay, we took it to the streets. I was one of them, so I'm going to say I took it to the streets. We took it to the streets and we started getting the neighborhoods together. I swear to God, these motherfuckers were driving in fucking Mercedes, Cadillacs, gold up to the motherfucking down here, shit. And I'm fucking walking around with holes in my fucking shoes with no fucking car. Half of the brothers are driving around with other brothers because they ain't got a ride. We drive up and these motherfuckers are all hanging around with gold and shit.
But there's an art. No. There's an art to it.
Okay, okay. This is the art. They said, okay, all this drive-by shit is gonna come to an end. Okay, that's when the drive-by started.
Anything cool to drink?
Okay.
There was, everyone was just down there.
There's a soda, fish or something in there.
Chuco's putting it down. He's telling it like it is. That they're the ones that took it to the streets. I was part of that, and I'm the one that actually took it to Chuco. I called him up, talked about stopping the drive-bys. I've told this story before, but I addressed Chuco because Little Mo from White Bins came up with the idea, let's stop the drive-bys, right? That's how the program started. Chuco and the carnales on the street started holding juntas, or what we, junta means, Junta means meeting, right? They started calling meetings with gang members on the streets, and thousands of individuals showed up. It shocked the Laeme, right? That, wow, all these people are going to listen to us. That's when they started the program. So Chuco's defending it right now. He's one of the primary orchestrators and architects of the program as we know it today. But the originator of the concept of these meetings was Sana Ojeda from Orange County at El Salvador Park. I think it was in 1990 that he had that meeting there. I could be off on the date. I'm not an expert historian like some people are. One of our viewers I know specifically knows specific dates. Will correct me if I'm wrong, and I welcome that criticism because he keeps us sharp. All right, here we go.
Okay. Fucking hangovers kicking my ass, man.
We never, or did I ever, mention the name tax, extort, or use any.
That individual in the striped shirt that just left the room with the receding hairline is Perico Ochoa. That's Perico from Flats, Armando Ochoa, that has been doing all the opposition to all the stuff that they're talking about, right? That's the one who was opposing Shai when they were going to make Pelon. He just left the room.
Of those words, all we said is you vatos are doing all the good. You know, we're out here and we're trying to get all this raza together. If you vatos can help out, you vatos know what you guys can give, so that's on you. And they gave what they wanted to. We never, ever set a price.
When I said
never, ever set a price.
When I said what I said, I wasn't directing it at you vatos. There is somebody going on. I'm not going to mention his name because he's not here right now. But I was meaning to talk to him today because people keep coming and telling me that he's saying, "Oh, you got to do this, and you got to do that." I'm getting complaints from all kinds.
That would be Pee Wee from the Avenues. He's talking about Alex Aguirre, who was known for, it's my loan from Big Hazard. They were known for doing this. They were known for strong-arming people and demanding tax.
Okay, I read in the paper. Let me say this. I read in the paper. One brother got busted with another guy, and he was saying he was demanding $100 from the drug dealers a day.
Who said that? Who was that?
A newspaper.
Oh yeah, though there's rumors going out there. There's people.
No, the detectives were in the crowd because they kidnapped the detectives, the undercover cops,
Oh,
and they were there to hear what was being said.
oh, and who that said that?
The Buddha said that, he quoted whoever was. Now, when we had the big meeting, and all the meetings, the black guys were quoting me. And they were quoting me, they were putting it on the motherfucking paper. And not the one time that I ever, what I did do, I says, your barrio, the one that killed a 7-year-old fucking kid, now, we want the fucking cuete, 2 cuetes as a matter of fact, because you guys fucking went over there and did another drive-by, so we want 2 cuetes when you're neighborhood. And that's what we're doing. MS, we did, I told them we wanted 5 cuetes, because the bandera, our bandera, they crossed the motherfucker out and they put their bandera on there.
Is that right?
No, that's what started.
This actually resulted in the green light. MS-13 during the World Cup in this era, MS-13 crossed out a Mexican flag and burned an American flag, and it brought about the ire of the Mexican Mafia.
Started to tip the iceberg to get everybody to turn, on MS. Now, MS started saying, fuck you and your ass, and they started robbing everybody. Now, we were going through all the neighborhoods, and all the neighborhoods were kicking down. Not because, hey, yo soy de laeme, and I want $1,000 from you because you're making $10,000. No, nothing like that. You want those are doing all the good, once you kick down to the cause, I'm not gonna tell you what you give, you give what you gotta give.
Let it come from your heart.
I understand that part, but see, like, okay, but what I try to do is, okay, like, when like, let's say when I have a home up with the West Side.
I've been with you.
Yeah, they come up, they give about $1,000.
I know, I've been there.
Some of it comes to me, for me, and for carnales that I send into the Pinta, and
George.
And to George, because he's running things, and then it goes back into a kitty to save for them. And like the neighborhoods that show up late, and the ones that don't show up at all, they gotta pay a fine. And that fine, it goes to the barrios. We don't get none of that. It goes to the barrios to split up.
Let me give a little scenario here, man. Watch out. But when a person means you work with somebody, it's this. Say, for instance, there's a border brother here, there's another camarada here, there's 3 people that are dealing in this certain area. Okay, what you're going to do, you're putting protection on them dudes. And out of respeto, and out of for you, look, say for instance one connection gets robbed by one of the dudes in the neighborhood. He comes to you, you tell the guy, hey, don't be doing that, or give him your shit back. Yeah. Now you got something coming because you're working with him.
That's what I do.
Now, if you're pressuring a dude, if you're pressuring somebody for their shit, they're not going to like it. Sooner or later, they're going to turn on you.
Hey, pero how many paisas we got over there playing that we do that too?
See,
Peron's touching them motherfuckers every other day for going and trying to rob these motherfuckers.
Yeah, see,
and they pay us
to look out for
them.
them.
But when something happens,
they
call one of us,
yeah.
and then we go deal with it.
That's it.
So everything that they're saying right now is part of the program today. Every aspect of this that they're talking about: protection, market exclusivity, which means they have a specific area that they can control exclusively and nobody else can deal there. Everything, the reputation and falling beneath the umbrage of the Mexican Mafia and its protection, all those things are part of the program today. Those are things that are marketed, right? It's kind of like a marketing campaign. It's like insurance, right? This is what they're doing. And I got to tell you that Salvador Park meetings held by Sana Ojeda occurred in August 29th, 1992. That is the guy that brought all this about, right? Now, obviously, Sana Ojeda had other objectives, right, about controlling Orange County, and he didn't have this macro vision that the Mexican Mafia did here in Los Angeles, because Los Angeles took it from what Sana was doing it on a very small scale and made it countywide, statewide, right? This is a huge endeavor that the organization undertook, and it really established the organization as a bona fide criminal syndicate, exerting power beyond the concertina wire and razor wire and concrete walls of prison. Here, it's actually called horizontal integration, right? horizontal integration is one major corporation taking over another corporation and having them perform the same services that they did, but they're doing it for the mafia now. So gangs are actually selling drugs, doing what they're doing, but yet paying the Mexican mafia for it, right? What they did freely on their own before, kind of like a hostile takeover. So that's it in a nutshell. Let's continue with the video.
The way we're working, the same fucking way.
See, but a lot of
That's the same fucking way, and they lie. That's the way we
don't
do
see
it.
people go back the wrong way.
I know what you're talking about.
If I wasn't from the end, man, if I wasn't from the end, man, I'm not gonna like somebody taking my shit, be putting out on the corner, putting my freedom on the line, and having somebody come tell me I got to give them 2, 3 other spoons, and I'm only working with 3,
And then
4
turn
pounds.
around and ask them to kill somebody for you.
Check this out. Okay, we say, and I said this to a group of the barrios. I said, check this out. You vatos are running around here in your barrio, and you got people in your barrio making all the money, and you're out there
They
in your
ain't got
barrio,
shit.
and ain't got a motherfucking penny.
Guys
Now,
taking
what
your
you-
money, yeah.
What you do is you get those motherfuckers and tell them you either get the fuck out of here and you start dealing, or the motherfucker gets beaten down.
Or give me the dope to sell, because my homeboys are the
Yeah,
ones
that's
buying
what
it
I'll
anyway.
supply
you with the
And-
dope
yeah.
and sling my
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
Or because it's their homeboys that's been dying for that fucking neighborhood.
that's right.
You know what, Chuco, one of the things, well, dispensa por it,
There's a letter that I got from Turi from Cuca about 2 weeks ago.
Duty from where?
From Cuca, su carnal.
Got a minute.
He got highly upset about his neighborhood. He wanted me to put a red light on his neighborhood because nobody there was helping him out.
red light.
Green light. And because I'm over there doing things with these guys, he's telling me, why ain't you checking these guys? You know? He sent me there in his neighborhood to go check all these guys. Because I was there just to fill out who's doing what in his neighborhood. 'Cause I'm not just going to go knock on any door and that guy ain't doing nothing. I'm over there feelers out there, seeing what they're doing. And here's what happened there. Nobody there wanted to help out. So when I did, everybody that's doing something there, the glove that I have, I put an 8 ball in each one of their hands over there. I'm not taking nothing from them, so all I'm asking them is that they're moving our droga. And out of that droga, my profit is half of this goes to the brother. I'm not taking nothing.
That's Randy Therian there, I believe, speaking. He's talking about distributing product to gang members so they can take care of duty. Rather than going over there and demanding something, he's providing them with something and asking for part of the money back for the carnal. And he's doing that at the request of Arturo Estrada Turi from Cucamonga Kings, who's currently incarcerated serving a life sentence. And just got his wings back. Turi was on disregard for a long time, lost all his power, was on the hit list, and just got his membership back. He was always a member, but he was stripped for a while and put on the shelf.
They're doing an exchange and they're helping us. I'm not taking nothing.
Well, you know, everybody's neighborhood, I guess, where everybody's situation is different.
It's all different. It's going to be all different. You know?
You know, I'm just saying, me
I'm just saying a
personally.
little example there.
Yeah, me personally.
Nobody wanted to do nothing there.
I'm not gonna wanna be going to some border brother or somebody, you know, taking his shit and then have to watch my back, because one of them days he might call for a 19, 17-year-old dude from Mexico to be up there waiting for my ass, you know.
We lost a few
We
carnales
lost a few
like
brothers
that.
like that already. But it's another thing, you know, working with somebody, or at least give them the illusion that you're working with them.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what we're doing.
you know,
That's what the fuck we're doing.
you know,
What happens over there, they either shut down before they move our shit or give
You know,
donate shit.
now what you're saying about getting your drugs and pushing your drugs on them, you know, well then I guess that would be between the dudes in the neighborhood and you.
Yeah.
Another thing that we
Just
can't take
example
chances.
there.
Another thing that I hate to see personally is when carnales start using the clita for personal things. You know, oh, this guy slapped my primo, so let's put him on the lista, you know, because he kicked my little.
Fuck my wife.
Yeah, fuck my wife, yeah.
Vittorio, I don't know if you remember when we were in Soledad, Aguila came down from Balan, some other vatos, and I think they were in Bolsa, and they added a couple more reglas on to that. I don't know if you remember, but that was one of the reglas. There would be a death sentence, using the clica for your own game. You know, there's when we were. So I don't know if you remember. But that was in 1970, you know. And,
Apparently, that's
1970, that rule came out that you can't use the clica for your own gain. But that rule has fell by the wayside, I'll tell you that. Because the clica is all about personal gain. Mexican Mafia members are hustling for themselves and hustling for their families. And they're not sharing the money. Each one hustles his own.
apparently that's what everybody's doing now, right now anyway.
no, they're not, I can't think of no carnales out here that's doing that.
Brother, I see it out there.
Out where?
Dudes from 18th Street. They're out there on personal. It's even got to the point of being so personal that they're turning on each other.
Oh, I thought you were talking about carnales.
Canales. Turning on each other.
What carnales you from 18th Street?
Yeah. What's this incident between, well, I don't know if this is the time to bring it up, but look at Night Owl and Puppet and all that. You know, they're fighting, you know, like, you know, they got their own little clicas here, clicas over here, over on
Yeah, but
18th Street,
that
banging
has
with
to
each
do
other.
with just everybody in general.
Huh?
I think, you know, that
Everybody
that's
was
not
brought
what,
up in that
There's
case.
a tape I want you to hear. Oh, you
Yeah.
I heard it, but that's what I mean, personal. People lost the concept of the image and gotten personal with
yeah,
this
well,
shit.
yeah,
You know, motherfucker, he's just because he's from 18th Street, he ain't getting that shit
Yeah,
because he's
yeah,
from
there's-
Redboard.
there's-
He's getting it because de la Rene, que no.
yeah, it's happening, but
This is the beginning of the campaign against Puppet, Francisco Martinez. Francisco Martinez developed that. In fact, it was done years before. Bessie Sagato, Puppet, and Nairo Castro, right? Nairo Castro was never really good at it, right? And Bessie Sagato was a spoon fiend, right? He'd go out and collect spoons of heroin to feed his habit and money, right? Puppet is the one that perfected the MacArthur Park area and 18th Street and developed Tracateros and all the stuff that he developed in 18th Street. In fact, there's a really good book called The Rent Collectors by Jesse Katz, good buddy of mine. It details this whole system, how it was developed, how Puppet developed it, all the violence that occurred during that. Excellent book. I suggest you go read that book because it's an awesome story.
the vatos you see in this room right here, I don't think anybody right here is doing that. You know, we all got our own little things going.
Different methods,
Yeah, but everybody's taking care of somebody también.
You know, because, maybe if the vato's doing it unconsciously, yo soy de la M kicked down.
Well, yeah, there's always been vatos doing
You know,
that.
yo soy de la M and I quiero esto.
Ya soy de la M, quiero que me das esto.
Yeah.
You know, es pedo que me das esto.
Support
Yeah.
the habit. Though.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, it's been done, Perico. You and I know there's been quite a few guys now that
I can't say I'm not guilty either. The thing is, what's got to be brought to light, man, is
In other words, we got to get back to the unity.
Yeah,
That's what we got to do.
Got to get back to the
Yeah,
end.
and I agree with you.
Get back to the
Yeah,
end.
we got to get back to. I remember before we were organized.
That's
right?
how I'm trying to tell brother right here. You know, what direction are we going? What are we establishing? You know, what foundation is being built? Are we just
That is Cowboy with the gangster hat that just walked into the room, Randy Therian from Bassett. Cowboy from Bassett.
staying at the same level and just going and going and going? You know?
Well, I think we've advanced, but from where we've advanced to, I don't see us going from there. And,
Yeah.
and I think we should. I think we should work on that.
Yeah. It would be
Because-
nice if we had
Yeah,
a,
me and Widow we're trying to work on something to advance.
Yeah, but the guy, we kind of backed off of it for right now because the guy was getting too personal.
He wants our personal fucking childhood
See,
as an
we're trying to get
individual.
publicity where we can get people to donate money, like politicians and all that stuff, clergymen and all that.
that
to
would
start-
put a lot of heat on it.
Yeah,
That
okay,
would drag a lot of
Yeah,
light
but
on
watch
us.
out. See, the way we started, first it was me and Tuco talking directly, right? Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but we wanted to put Arturo, Danny Bustamante, and Danny Flores from Culver City, and vatos like that who have legitimate highlights
I
and
already told him
stuff.
about
Yeah, put them in the front, and we're just directing them.
Yeah.
We're in the back
There you
directing
go.
them.
Something like that.
There's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
been a couple articles
You
came
know,
out
like
in
it
the
would,
newspaper.
you know what I would also like to see, man, is for us to have a place, you know, like a club, you know, like even if it's just a room, you know, like Pee Wee was talking about that sports thing over there. ¿Te acuerdas?
Yeah.
You mean for us to
Like
buy?
a risk.
A
Yeah.
business to buy?
Yeah, business.
Run a business.
See, that's another thing that we could all do with money
You know,
we're
the
making
license- the
is
license-
pitch in and save up money.
The license is what costs more.
Yeah.
How much the license cost?
Oh,
Liquor license.
for a club, man, you
Oh.
thought the insurance is
60?
gonna get you.
Yeah, around that.
How much?
60,000.
About 60?
60,000. But that's for hard
60.
liquor, right?
So we ain't doing that good. I ain't doing that
16 or
good.
60,000? Okay, yeah. No, the hard liquor is the one that costs our board.
Depends on
I think he went
the
to-
area.
I don't think he's got a,
It is a liquor license.
So we're not doing that good right
I think
now.
it's around 20 grand, man. The insurance is what fucks you.
Depending on where it's
Insurance,
at,
yeah.
But you know what, if we keep going the way we're going, we put our heads together, in a year, we could have that money. You know, we won't be sitting here talking about how much does it cost, we'll just be talking about how much do you want, you know? If we all work together like we're supposed to been doing, and start, like,
You hear them, they have visions of grandeur right now about buying a sports club, which is not impossible. You know, there are multiple members that started their own businesses. Like China Boarrias had the Galleon Bar, he owns real estate. You know, Victorio Murillo, he has a car dealership, had a car dealership, owned his home. Cardenales in this era had already established their business, but I would never have entered into a business where I gave money that was co-owned by other Cardenales. It would be mine independently, and that's it. Because you invite a Cardenal in to your business, he'll destroy it, he'll cause complications. It's always been that way in the organization, it will always be that way. So that'll do it for this episode, folks. Hope you liked it. We're going to continue with another episode in this series. We're going to go all the way through the entirety of this episode. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, share with a friend, and most importantly, hype this video, please. It promotes us, and we need the promotion. We need the viewership. We need YouTube to get behind our videos and push them out. With that said, peace out, folks. Have a nice day. Be safe.